So out of completely nowhere, Marvel just is just like, oh hey, we haven't done any news anything in a while. Kevin Feige, can we do some news? He's like, a little bit, as he's sitting in his like Thanos chair of power. You can release a little bit. As I'm not gonna lie, I was left super, super confused by this announcement that's come out because it's a bunch of random Marvel things. So what we're talking about is, I believe was it yesterday, Josh? I believe Monday. When we're recording
Monday,
this.
yeah.
Monday, Marvel just out of nowhere decides to drop this like teaser video talking about returning to the theater and going, we can't wait to be back in the theater. Here's everything for Marvel Phase 4. And it gets really, really interesting. They showed like some clips from some of their upcoming stuff, like a little tiny bit of Black Widow, like whatever was left to not show, because Black Widow, I feel bad for the marketing team of Black Widow. They've just been like, what can we show? Because we're running out of options because we've delayed this so many times, and with each delay we've had a trailer. Black Widow showed a little bit. Shang-Chi showed a little bit, like one new shot. The first look at Eternals, though, with a couple quick glimpses, which over the past week or so, Eternals has really shot up my most anticipated list because director Chloe Zhao just won Best Director at the Academy Awards for Nomadland, which you can watch on Hulu. I'm going to get around to it at some point. I'm trying to think. I think Nomadland won Best Picture as well. So we got a little bit of Eternals. Then we got release dates for Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder. Then we got some new titles. We got the new Black Panther movie will be called Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which
oh my goodness.
I genuinely do not think there has been a more perfect name for a movie. That is just chef's kiss. That is how you honor a legacy. And we can talk about it more in a bit. They've talked about how they're going to reshape the narrative in this Black Panther movie. We've also got Captain Marvel 2, now called The Marvels. I think there's an interesting rationale for why they're doing that. Then we got release dates for Ant-Man 3, Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and some other teas that I think we'll close out on that. But Josh, one, why do you think they dumped all this? And two, is there any particular announcement that they made that sticks out to you the most?
I couldn't tell you why. Because this really is out of the blue. It's not like DC. Well, I mean, I guess it's
something on Friday.
Oh, what? No way.
But to be fair, that DC thing was saying an announcement about upcoming announcements. This was actually about actual announcements.
Yes. So, I mean, but like, so we haven't, like, DC's not really doing much, I guess. So it's not like they didn't announce like a full schedule of fandom and so this can be a response to that, but like I don't know, man. It's coming out of nowhere, but easily Wakanda Forever is the thing that stuck out the most because, I mean, given everything, to me at this particular moment, Wakanda Forever is my most anticipated on this list, only because I'm super curious as to what they're going to do to solve, I don't want to say problem, but
real life tragedy, basically.
Yeah, real life tragedy with the loss of Chadwick, and how do you do that when you can't film with him? How do you? I'm really nervous that they're gonna try to do like a deep fake, and it's gonna look terrible, and it's not gonna. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. Basically, to me, this confirms Shuri is going to be the new Panther. But, you know,
I like the Wakanda Forever name a lot because it means the Black Panther legacy is more than just a person. Wakanda is a peoples. It is a group. Mm-hmm. It is a sense of belonging within a culture. Like, yes, our king is gone, but who we are remains. Wakanda Forever means a lot of things to a lot of different people, so I think this title is incredibly apropos. I'm not very worried about this movie in the sense because Chadwick Boseman and director Ryan Coogler were so close, and he said in recent interviews that they've more or less restructured this movie to basically be a monument to the legacy of Chadwick Boseman and basically make this a I don't want to say proper send-off, but a respectful memorial to the character of Black Panther, but also the person of Chadwick Boseman. So I feel like that respect will play into it. And with you, I think Shuri will be the new Black Panther, but I think it'll be more about the nation of Wakanda. How do you handle the loss of a king, basically?
Yeah.
I think this will be much more communal.
How do you handle not just the loss of the king, but the loss of a king, like basically losing 2 kings in about 5 years? Like that's gonna be a lot of unstable. Like to me, it's gonna be very interesting. This has nothing to do with the last section of this little news topic, but you know what I found out this week in Marvel related things? That Beta Ray Bill and Moon Knight are good friends, apparently. And now I kind of want that as a team up, and I'm down for it.
Beta Ray Knight?
That'd just be fun. So, you want to talk about
we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Phase 4 logo, whatever.
Well, let's talk about the Marvels really quick.
Yes.
So, for those that are looking at that one next to Wakanda Forever going, what? The Marvels? That is Captain Marvel 2. They're retitling it to be The Marvels, which, to me, maybe it's a little too early to call this, but I think them calling it The Marvels is a soft reboot to the Captain Marvel world in a sense of Thor Ragnarok. Kind of was a soft reboot / reset to the Thor lineage after the lackluster response to Thor the Dark World. I think Marvel is very aware of how Captain Marvel was received by a certain amount of the fandom. I think some people have blown it way out of proportion. I didn't like it for a variety of reasons, but I think Marvel's aware of it, and I think they're kind of hoping to rebrand the image of Captain Marvel, because I don't want to sound like one of those toxic fans, but I think Brie Larson herself kind of comes off a little bit cocky and doesn't help her own case sometimes. Like, she has been a great actress, but I think she comes across as a bit confrontational at times, and I think that rubs people the wrong way. Whereas the character of like an Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., is still jokey and jovial and have fun in interviews, whereas Brie Larson kind of comes across as a bit harsh. And that could just be how like people that don't like her are over analyzing everything and scrutinizing every detail to be like, well, I don't like you, I'm gonna not like you even more. I'm indifferent, but I'm not the biggest fan of her Captain Marvel character, and I feel like The Marvels is a shift to more of a team Captain Marvel as opposed to a straight Captain Marvel sequel, because we know we've got Captain Marvel, played by Brie Larson. We're going to have Monica Rambeau back from WandaVision. We're also going to have Miss Marvel, who will already have her series done. They're filming that right now, which we're not going to talk about here because we don't talk about leaked set photos, but the Miss Marvel suit is pretty dang accurate to the comics. Holy crap. And the S in The Marvels is Miss Marvel's S from her logo. So I feel like they're trying to... It's like in a wrestling tag team match. For those select few people that are going to get this analogy, you've got your one strong guy that you want to make look strong, but he isn't necessarily the most popular with the crowd. So you stick him in a tag team with 2 people that are popular, and by proxy, that popularity might rub off on your star. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of what Marvel's doing, of shifting from a Thor the Dark World to a Thor Ragnarok situation here with Captain Marvel. It's still going to technically be a Captain Marvel 2 with her leading it, but it's going to be more of a team dynamic with the other Marvels. Josh, do you see it any different?
No, yeah, that sounds exactly right. The S is literally they're not trying to hide that Miss Marvel's going to be in this. Yeah, and Monica is going to... There's a part of me that thinks they might try to shift the title of Captain Marvel to somebody else, because technically that she is not called that yet. So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind Monica shifting to Monica. I do like her a lot.
Oh, yeah. I like Monica, too. It's just... My only issue with Monica was something with WandaVision. It just felt like we kind of fast-tracked her into her superpowers as opposed to, like, letting the character breathe a little bit. But that's just really nitpicking. Let's get into the most interesting thing that obviously came out of this, is Marvel just dropping an Easter egg and going, I don't know what you're talking about. Wink, wink, wink. That's the logo for Marvel Phase 4. And all of us are just going, really? This one in the corner, this one right here, that isn't at all the exact same logo for the Fantastic Four that you showed at your investors meeting back in December that you said was coming from Spider-Man director John Watts. That's not at all the same logo? You're just saying that that's now the logo for Phase 4? Bull. I'm saying it's two things. To me, this signifies that Fantastic Four will be the final movie of Phase 4, but also it's either the most obvious thing in the world, or reading too much into this, it's coming after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Like, they just haven't set a date for it yet. And that's probably because it's 2024, which sounds a long way off, but it's only 3 years. And come on, from a marketing standpoint, that fits too well. Phase 4, Fantastic Four in 2024. Like, all the pieces are kind of fitting together.
Yeah, that's a marketing, you don't get those kinds of opportunities often. Like, you might as well
take
that.
If you had one chance, one opportunity, would you take it?
Bob's spaghetti. Bob's heavy. Anyway,
Mr. Fantastic's arms of spaghetti.
So the thing that I have been trying to be wary of is all of you and I have our those websites that are just our favorite, because they take stuff like this that we'd say are like, is this confirmation? Is it not? It is confirmation, but it's not confirmation. But like all these websites are like, oh, Fantastic Four movie confirmed. Like, this is gonna happen. Within the next 4 years. It's like, it's not, guys. It's not confirmed. It's okay to just kind of be excited about things. You don't have to try to fan cast the movie already. Yeah. Okay. I say that knowing that we released a how would we do the Fantastic Four video
with like casting choices.
Yeah, with casting choices and everything. But yeah, no, I'm excited, man. That that's a marketing opportunity that you can't pass up. I mean, 4 in 4. Watch them release it on, what is it?
April 4th.
April 4th. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if that's a weekend. Actually, I don't know if my calendar can go that far. Anyway.
But also, another important thing to keep in mind here is, if this does come out in 2024, that'll be 9 years since the last Fantastic Four, with Fan Four Stick in 2015. That is plenty of buffer space. It's not like the X-Men movies where we just had New Mutants. We just had some other X-Men related movies fairly recently. Like, there will be some distance and people will be clamoring for a Fantastic Four. Now, again, they didn't officially say that this is Fantastic Four when they made this announcement, but it is the exact same logo from the conference that, or investors call or whatever, in December. We know it is coming from director John Watts. I would not be surprised at all if they have their own people. Now, let's say hypothetically that this is Fantastic Four and it is coming out after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Josh, where do you see the first signs or introductions to these characters? Like, we normally get characters or future teases in the end credits. Where do you see some end credits or some teases being of these movies that we've got coming out?
I could totally see something in Quantumania. Just because it's kind of science related. The Ant-Man and Fantastic Four seems like that would fit fairly well. Trying to think. I could see, honestly, I could see hints, like really small Easter eggs. I wouldn't be surprised in Shang-Chi.
Really? That soon?
I'm see, here's the thing though. You don't, like small Easter eggs, you don't have to name people. You don't have to do casting. You can confirm and say, oh man, somebody else is moving into the Avengers Tower. You can just build things like that. Just hint at it for like what, 4 years?
Oh, oh, you mean like how in SpiderMan Homecoming they're clearing out the Avengers building and someone's moving in. And you know who teams up with the Fantastic Four quite a bit and was a Fantastic Four member for a little bit. One, Peter Parker. I've said forever now, and I was pretty sure, but it didn't end up happening, that we were going to get a Fantastic Four tease at the end of Far From Home. I'm going to shift my prediction down again, just slot it to the next Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. I'm still going to stick with the same thing of it'll be Peter and MJ walking through Central Park and be like, oh, nice to see that the Stark buildings, the Avengers Tower is done. Then they'll keep talking about something Spider-Man related, and then the scene will end. We just get a citywide pan up, and it's just got the four. I've been saying that for years. I'm going to stick to my guns on this one, except I'm going to say it's now at the end of No Way Home instead of Far From Home. I think Spider-Man is the best bet because Spider-Man and Fantastic Four have such an intertwined relationship. Doctor Strange, not so much. Thor, off-world. Wakanda, maybe. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, maybe. If there's a Namor connection. Because Namor was one of the first Fantastic Four villains. He was a villain for a while. Black Panther being a king, Namor being a king. Okoye referencing underwater disturbances in Endgame. So maybe there's a correlation there. The Marvels, that's probably going to be intergalactic. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I think if we don't get something in Spider-Man, Quantumania is the best bet because Peyton Reed, the director of all three Ant-Man movies, was hoping to be the one to direct Fantastic Four, but that didn't happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some reference there. Maybe the Fantastic Four pulled out of the quantum realm because we already know Kang the Conqueror is the big bad, who is a descendant of Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic. So there's your out there. Guardians, there's a 5 to 10% chance on that one just because it would be the one right before this Fantastic Four. Again, this is all us speculating right now.
Yeah. I think, and again, like, I'm going to stick to my guns on, like, it doesn't even have to be something big. With Peter being so connected to Fury, depending on how No Way Home goes, and the before credits movie, with Fury being like, I gotta give, Peter's like, hey, you want to stay for some shawarma or something, whatever. And Fury being like, nah, man, I gotta make a phone call. And then, movie ends, credits hit. And, dude, we do this scene that you and I have always wanted where we see a phone ringing on a table and a hand stretches over and grabs it. Like, that's just, like, it'd be perfect. Like, that's all you gotta do, Like, it's just simple stuff.